with a gross domestic output of about $120 billion as of 2021, up from just above $70 billion in 2017. Kenya has the largest economy in the East African community and the third largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa. When sub-Saharan African nations are ranked by GDP, Kenya comes in third place, just behind South Africa and Nigeria. With such a high GDP, the economic benefits are trickling down on regular everyday Kenyans. In 2021, the number of high net worth individuals in Kenya increased to 3,232 and is set to keep rising by another 27% in the next 5 years. But today we want to direct our focus toward a different set of people in Kenyan society. We're talking about Kenya's wealthiest families. This list contains so many obvious candidates, but don't be too sure, because we can bet you there'll definitely be a few surprises, as even some politicians are chilling with the big boys. Here are the 14 wealthiest families in Kenya. 14. The Patel family. It's safe to say if your last name is Patel in Kenya, then you're already a wealthy heir. Vallabhbhai Patel is one of the wealthiest self-made businessmen, entrepreneurs, and philanthropists in Kenya. His investments include Transworld Safaris Limited's tour company, which he wholly owns and serves as the managing director. Vallabhbhai Patel invests predominantly in blue-chip businesses that pay regular dividends and have a history of sustained stock price appreciation, similar to many high-net-worth investors at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. He rarely sells his shares in these businesses. He makes long-term investments and occasionally increases his holdings when a price decline occurs. Additionally, he has diversified into a number of economic areas, including manufacturing, banking, insurance, telecommunications, and the building industry. He has a net worth of over $30 million. He also serves as a non-executive director at Pan Africa Insurance, the largest non-institutional shareholder. He also maintains significant shareholding in Barclays Bank Kenya, Bambari Cement, Carvisit Investments, Diamond Trust Bank Group, and Safaricom. 13. The Nekuni family. Titus Nekuni is one of the wealthiest Kenyans, which of course makes his family wealthy as well. He works as a mechanical engineer, entrepreneur, and executive for a company in Kenya. He joined the Magadi Soda Company in 1979 as a trainee engineer and rose to the positions of managing director of that company in 1995 and managing director of the Magadi Railway Company. Nekuni was a member of the Dream Team, a group of Kenyan technocrats supported by the World Bank between August 1999 and March 2001. The government hired these technocrats to revive the economy. In addition to being a member of the Kenya Airways Board, Nekuni held the position of Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Communications. In April 2001, he went back to Magadi Soda Company, where he remained as managing director until he was hired by Kenya Airways in February 2003. Nekuni has a wealth of boardroom expertise from his time on numerous corporate boards, including those of Brunnermond, Kenya Power and Lighting Company, and Housing Finance Company Limited. In 2002, he was presented with Kenya's Manager of the Year award. Nekuni has amassed wealth for his family and has managed to rank among Kenya's richest people. His total net worth is $140 million. 12. The Macharia family. Samuel Kamo Macharia of the Macharia family, popularly known as SK Macharia, is another self-made businessman and media mogul who owns numerous English, Kiswahili, and vernacular stations, including Citizen TV, KISS, Radio Jambo, Ramogi, and more. These stations collectively make the Royal Media Company one of Kenya's most successful media companies. 1942 saw the birth of Macharia in Endakeni village, Murang'a County. He was the second child and had 3 sisters. His parents were colonial workers on British settler plantations while living as squatters in Subukia. When Macharia was 5 years old, his mother passed away. His father attempted to find work after the family relocated to Arusha, Tanzania, but was unsuccessful. The young Macharia traveled long distances in quest of greener pastures while remaining in the company of Maasai herdsmen. Purity Gathoni Macharia is his wife, and together they have 6 kids, 2 girls and 4 boys. Gathoni is related to Mysore Githi Mugo, a professor at Syracuse University and former Kenyan cabinet minister Njeru Githi. For his 79th birthday, his wife allegedly gifted him a 2021 model Range Rover, which was a modest addition to his fleet of Porsches and Rolls-Royces. SK has also tried his hand in agriculture, real estate, transport, and banking. His total net worth is estimated to be $150 million. He is said to be an all-rounder, as his investments are found in all major companies in Kenya. 11. The Mwangi family. This family's name is unmarked as one of the richest families in Kenya, with a net worth of upward of $170 million thanks to James Mwangi. James Mwangi is a businessman, banker, Group Managing Director, and Group Chief Executive Officer of Equity Group Holdings Limited. A Doctor of Business Administration from Kenya Methodist University, a Doctor of Humane Letters from Kenyatta University, and a Doctor of Entrepreneurship from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology are among the 5 honorary doctorates that Mwangi possesses, along with his doctorate in letters from Africa Nazarene University and his doctorate in business management from Meru University of Science and Technology. Mwangi is recognized for democratizing financial access in his capacity as CEO of Equity Group Holdings plc. Mwangi was listed as one of the top 20 most influential Africans and one of the top 50 thinking leaders of developing markets in 2009 by the Financial Times. From 2007 until 2019, he served as the Kenya Vision 2030 Delivery Board's founding chairman, with the responsibility of ensuring that Kenya achieved middle income status by 2030 and had excellent living standards. Mwangi also serves as the college's current Chancellor for Science and Technology at Meru University. Mwangi and his wife own Equity Group Holdings Limited and British American Insurance Company Limited. These roles make the family one of the wealthiest in Kenya. 10. The Odinga family. This family, headed by Raila Odinga, is worth $250 million. Raila Odinga is popularly known in Kenya as the father of modern democracy and Prime Minister, or Baba. Since 2013, he has been regarded as Kenya's opposition leader. Under President Jomo Kenyatta, his father Jaramogi Oginga Odinga served as Kenya's first vice president, which just might be justification for his obsession to be president. Daddy issues may be at play here. Social democracy is a broad term that may be used to describe Odinga's political philosophy. This ideology is more in line with American left-wing politics. He initially supported a constitution giving executive powers to the prime minister, demonstrating his support for a parliamentary system. However, he then switched to a presidential system with a devolved power structure, which is reflected in Kenya's current constitution. 9. The Munga family. This family is worth $280 million, with the majority of it amassed by Peter Munga. Peter Munga is the group chairman of the Equity Bank Group, one of the biggest banks on the African continent with a customer base of over 9.3 million people. Munga established the Equity Building Society, often known as EBS, in his village of Kanjama in the Central Highlands of Kenya in 1984. With just $100 as startup money, he persuaded the Kenyan government to grant him a license. James Mwangi, then 31 years old, was engaged by Munga in 1993 as the chairman and chief executive officer of EBS to dissolve the bankrupt company. EBS was losing $60,000 each year and had incurred $380,000 in losses overall. As director of finance at EBS, Mwangi started to implement improvements, which led to the society's slow but steady turnaround. The same year, Munga left her position as an assistant secretary in the Kenyan Ministry of Water. EBS changed its name to Equity Bank Group on August 31, 2004, and 2 years later it was listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. The bank stock was cross-listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange on June 18, 2009, and it began trading on that day under the ticker EBL. 8. The Atul Shah family. The Shah family, headed by the popular Atul Shah, is worth $290 million. Atul Shah was raised in difficult circumstances and was born in 1961 in Nandi Hills, Kenya. The family moved to Nakuru when Atul was 4 years old in 1965. Mangal Shah, Atul's father, founded a retail clothes store next to the Nakuru open-air market after moving to Kenya from India in 1947. Vimal, Atul's older brother, began working for the company in 1970. Mangal started sending garments to Uganda in 1975, frequently on loan. Atul's father filed for bankruptcy at the end of 1976 as a result of late payments and money demands from creditors. After their father's business was shut down, Atul Shah and his brother Vimal Shah opened a clothes store called Furmats, where they sold bed linens that they had sewed at home, among other items. The two sons and their father were able to pay off the loan in 1978 as a result of a thriving business, fueled by the East African coffee boom of the 1970s. When their uncle moved to the UK, he sold them his Nakuru mattress. He presently serves as the managing director and CEO of Nakumat Holdings. With more than 7,000 people on its payroll and yearly sales of well over $650 million, Nakumat was one of the biggest privately owned supermarkets in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. 7. The Karubai family. The late businessman, industrialist, and philanthropist Chris Karubai was a person with numerous facets to his personality and professional life. But before he passed, he left his family with cash and assets worth $400 million. He was the chairman of Senham Investment Company Limited, where he also held the majority of the individual shares. He is also the most well-known mall owner in the East. Two Rivers Mall was formerly located in Central Africa. Among Karubai's investments were, but are not limited to, investment firm Senham. The company's stock is listed on both the Nairobi Stock Exchange and the Uganda Securities Exchange, with Chris Karubai being the largest individual shareholder. He was the sole owner of Kenyan household products producer Hako Industries Limited. The family owns and controls several companies, including 98.4 Capital FM, Nairobi Bottlers Limited, DHL Express Kenya Limited, Karuna International Limited, Hako Industries Kenya Limited, Sandvik East Africa Limited, and International House Limited. 6. The Murali family. The late Naushad Murali was a businessman and industrialist who founded the French media conglomerate Vivendi and the Kenyan mobile service provider Kensel. He leaves behind his businesses under the control of his family. This family is worth $550 million. Naushad Murali was the head of Samir Group, a Kenyan conglomerate with operations in finance, real estate, information technology, agriculture, and construction. He formerly served as the chairman and biggest individual shareholder of Bharti Airtel's Kenyan operations, but in 2014 he sold his shares and left the board of directors of the business. All of his fortunes are succeeded by his children Yasmin and Samir Murali. His son is the CEO of Samir Investments and chairman of Rice East Africa and Nandi Tea Estates. 5. The Binji Dapar Shah family. This Kenyan family is worth $700 million. Binji Dapar Shah is the founder and current chairman of the Bidco Group of companies. In 1931, he was born in Cairo, Egypt. He made Nairi his home and started a gas station there. He founded the clothing manufacturer Bidco Industries Limited in 1970. The company started making soap in 1985. Northeast of Nairobi, Kenya's capital, in Thika, Bidco established an edible oil manufacturing facility and relocated its international headquarters there in 1991. The Bidco Group of companies is a family-owned manufacturing conglomerate with operations in 13 African nations, with its headquarters in Kenya. 4. The Biwott family. The Biwott family is worth $1.1 billion. This family is a rich and comfortable family, and they are one of the most recognizable families in Kenya. The family was established by late Nicholas Biwott, a businessman, politician, and philanthropist who styled himself as the Total Man. He served in various capacities in various agencies of the government and made several business investments during his lifetime. And so when he passed in 2017, he left everything to the care of his family. Some of his investments include Premier Group of Companies, Barisam Investment, and Yea Center. He also has a large stake in the National Milling Corporation. He committed a lot of money towards philanthropy, and his family continues to honor that commitment. 3. The Shandaria family. The proprietor of the Comcraft group of companies, which produces steel, plastic, and aluminum products, is Manu Shandaria Manuel Primchand Shandaria. In 1915, Shandaria's father, an Indian businessman from Saurashtra, Gujarat, emigrated to Kenya to open a grocery store on Nairobi's Biashara Boulevard. Shandaria was raised in a house shared by 3 families in the Ngara neighborhood of Nairobi, where he helped his father out in the store. Despite not having been born with a silver spoon in his mouth, Shandaria has acknowledged that there were spoons in the home. His own business interests are wide-ranging and cover the whole Kenyan economy as well as the economies of 50 other nations. He argues for the idea that enterprises should consider profit as a means, not an end, in a recent interview with the Harvard Business School's Creating Emerging Markets project. Shandaria, whose net wealth is estimated at $1.7 billion, also owns a real estate company and runs Comcraft in more than 11 African nations. 2. The Kenyatta family. The Kenyatta family is one of the richest families in Kenya. They are worth at least $2 billion and have land estimated to be equivalent to a whole province. Jomo Kenyatta is the founding president of the country. Most analysts usually list the matriarch Mama Ngina Kenyatta and her son President Uhuru Kenyatta separately, but since we are looking at family wealth in Kenya, the Kenyattas could possibly top the list. Mama Kenyatta holds lands amounting to around 115,000 hectares. She also holds 2 tea plantations at Madu and Mangu and other farms near the Tanzanian border. Mama Kenyatta also controls several companies including Brookside Dairy, Media Max Limited, and Heritage Group of Hotels. Her son Uhuru Kenyatta, who is incidentally president of Kenya, is worth around $500 to $700 million, and he has several interests in real estate, banking, hospitality, and technology. 1. The Moi family. With an estimated net worth of $3 billion, the late President Arap Moi's family is the wealthiest in the nation. They own a number of businesses and have made investments in practically every market in Kenya. The International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes founded in October 2006 that Moi had accepted a bribe from a Pakistani businessman in order to provide a monopoly of duty-free shops at the nation's international airports in Mombasa and Nairobi. Ali Nasir, a businessman, is alleged to have given Moi $2 million in cash to secure approval from the government for the World Duty-Free Limited project in Kenya. On the 31st of August 2007, WikiLeaks published a secret report that laid bare a web of shell companies, secret trusts, and frontmen that his entourage had used to funnel hundreds of millions of pounds into nearly 30 countries. Moi was linked to the Goldenberg affair and related cover-ups in the 1990s, in which the Kenyan government heavily subsidized gold exports, greatly exceeding the exporters' foreign exchange revenues. Since Kenya has very little gold, the gold in this instance was smuggled from Congo. Kenya lost money through the Goldenberg affair that was equal to more than 10% of its annual GDP, so with all of these it is quite obvious to see where all the Moi family's fortune comes from, and they are at the top of our list today. If you have any suggestions on which family deserved to be put on the list, but wasn't, please let us know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, definitely don't forget to leave a like, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.